Now, I'm a firm believer that you don't need some physics to enjoy racing games on wheel, and Forza Horizon is definitely a franchise that fits in that category. But the thing is, all the previous Forza Horizons that I played on wheel, I mean that only being Forza Horizon 4 and 5, was a bit mediocre when it came to wheel support and force feedback. And when booting up Forza Horizon 6, I wasn't all that confident. In fact, to even make this video, it took me countless hours of studying the game physics, how force feedback works, all the settings to come up with how you should set your wheel settings to get the most out of Forza Horizon 6 to the point where it's actually the most enjoyable Forza Horizon game I've ever played on wheel. In fact, I could say that it's actually much more enjoyable than I would have thought previously. It still lacks some detail, I would say, but if you don't like Forza Horizon on wheel, this video will change your mind. So let me explain to you how all of this works. Now, before I get started, I have to mention two things. I'm using a Logitech G Pro wheel, which is an 11 Newton meter direct drive wheel, but I have it set to 8 Newton meters of force. And these are my settings for the Logitech wheel, by the way, which, by the way, True Force does not work. I don't know why. Again, it's not the only wheel proprietary software that doesn't work in Forza Horizon 6. I can't remember if it's Fanatics or Thrustmasters that also don't work in this game, which is weird because it works in Forza Motorsport, but not in Forza Horizon 6. I generally don't know why that is, but these are my settings in case you want to copy them, just to have the exact same copy of force feedback that I have. Now, first thing to note is that when you open Forza Horizon setting menu, before you click X on this, if you open it up on controller, you will not have access to your wheel settings. I hope this is fixed in the future because most of the time when I navigate the menu, I have to go through controller, but instead press X on your wheel, which I'll do right about now. I'm reaching over. Now you press X and use a controller. You now have access to all of this. So your sensitivity, your wheel damper scale, all of this, but I'll explain to you all of those in a second. First, go to difficulty and switch this to simulation. Now, what does simulation mean? With normal steering, it's kind of going to be for controller users mostly because there's a lot of assists that are enabled when you use it. And some of these alter the inputs of your controller that also affects the vehicle dynamics and how it handles, how it steers, how it drifts, stuff like that. Now, with that in mind, normal steering assist might make your force feedback feel sharper because it influences the yaw inertia of your car to help maintain control during rapid lock-to-lock steering situations. Cough, cough, otherwise known as drifting, when you go from left to right and your car swings from left side to right side when you're going through corners. That is exactly what that setting is going to do. So when you have it on normal, you might find that your car is going to be less agile than it would be in simulation. So of course, you want to leave that in simulation. Now, the next thing you want to do is head over to advanced controls, starting from the top. Now, first one, vibration, I have on. These two, you can leave it as whatever. Inverts, if you find your force feedback is working in reverse, which is very easy to tell, just go into the settings, swap this. Easier said than done. Well, I should say easier done and said. Steering axis, dead zone. Of course, you don't really want a dead zone, but if you find that your wheel has a dead zone anyway, that's whatever. Steering linearity, one of the first settings you might want to adjust. Now for me, I have it at 50. This means that it's just a straight line. So the inputs of my wheel is matching the inputs of the game. Now, if you decrease this, for example, it provides more accuracy near the center, but less accuracy near full lock. Now, if you increase this value, it provides more accuracy near full lock, but less accuracy near the center. Now, what this means, and I'll put it up on the screen, the example of the curves, is essentially when you first start turning your wheel, it'll be very sensitive when it begins to move, and as you get closer to the end of your wheel angle, the wheels will move slower. So depending on how you like your driving style, for example, most of the time in Forza Horizon 6, for example, I don't need to change this, because if you had this issue, the issue would be when you're doing grip racing and you don't want to cross your arms over. You would, for example, make this more sensitive in the beginning, so you have more steering wheel angle in the beginning portion of your turn, and then when you're drifting, you have like less turn angle in the full 900 degrees. I hope I explained that correctly, but if you need help along with these images that show up on screen right now, let me know in the comment section and I'll try and do better. It's much more easier to explain when you have a graph. So that's basically steering linearity. Then you have, of course, your dead zones for your pedals, whether it's acceleration, clutch, or e-brake. Stuff like that is what you're going to be using. But more importantly, let's now start with the big things, vibration scale. Now, this helps you set the vibration intensity. Now, Forza Horizon, vibration is used as a tactile sensation to let you know what's happening to the car. So you'll feel vibration when you're overusing the tires. For example, like drifting, when you collide with something, whether it's another vehicle or a world prop. Now, turning down the vibration will not change the road feel. Road feel is a physical force coming from the load changes on the tire. So this is just strictly from like actual tactile sensations. Now I have it at 0.6. I'll be honest, I might turn it up a bit because I feel like it could be a lot better. But you can leave it at 0.7, somewhere around here, or you can leave it stock. Next, force feedback scale. Now this sets the overall force feedback strength on your wheel. Now, quick thing to note, I'm currently using a Logitech G Pro wheel, which is an 11 Newton meter wheel, but I have it turned down to 8 Newton meters. Now the force feedback scale I have set to 1, but this changes all forces which are sent to the wheel, including spring and damper. Now adjust this value carefully because it's possible to saturate the forces, which will make your wheel clip. And when it clips, you'll be like you'll feel weird. It won't feel like a real wheel. You'll feel like an artificial wheel. So if you feel like you're getting not enough sensations, turn it up. If you feel like you're getting too many sensations, turn it down. Now, mind you, individual cars will have higher and lower torque capabilities depending on their actual suspension mass, downforce, cornering forces, and the default force feedback scale is set to a neutral value, which shouldn't clip. But again, if you are having wheel clip at this level, turn it down and you should find some improvements. Now, center spring scale and wheel damper scale are for sure the worst mechanics ever in Forza Horizon, and it's why you're not enjoying Forza Horizon 6 on wheel. Now, center spring scale, let me explain to you. It's the dynamic centering force of your steering wheel. Now, you know, in real life, when you turn your wheel all the way and you start to drive off, your wheel will return to center. Or for example, when you're racing or just driving in real life, or whether it's snowy and you lose a bit of traction, you can feel the wheel and suspension try to pull you away and then might go back to center. That's exactly what this does. And here's where the issue lies, because if you increase this value, it essentially takes over the dynamic feeling that this game is supposed to be sending to your wheel. That's why I turned it all the way to 0, because why would I want a static force or an artificial force to affect how my car drives? This is the same issue that was on Test Drive. There's a setting which if you didn't turn it off, the game felt ass. It's the same thing in Motorfest, and it's the same thing in Forza Horizon. Honestly, in most games, you want to turn this off or to 0. Once you do that, I promise you, your life will be much more better, and you can prove my points by putting these two to max. I'll explain wheel damper in a second, but you can do both of these to max, and you will find exactly what I mean, as in it's just artificial. But again, for centering spring, no more than 0.5, but for most of you, I think you're going to want to leave it to 0, especially if you're on a Logitech wheel. But I'm pretty sure this might be true for all other wheels as well. Maybe you'll be at like 0.1 or something like that. In fact, mind you, what Forza devs actually tell you is that they recommend you to not turn this up too high because it cancels the dynamic force feedback, which is the only force you feel is when your wheel is trying to center itself, rather than the dynamic aligned torque from the car's wheels. And they literally say we recommend you leave it alone or turn it down. Forza devs telling us what to do, and they're right. Turn this down to 0 or minimize it. For sure, don't leave it at the base. You will want to turn it down. The next thing is a wheel damper scale, because this equally it creates an issue. Now, wheel damper scale is the resistance to the movement of your steering wheel. Now, you know when your wheel feels very heavy? Yeah, that's this thing. Now, larger values provide a heavy feeling, while lower values give a light feeling with little to no resistance. Now, damper is a dynamic and reduces as the tire slips to preserve detail. Now, lowering this value too much might cause steering oscillation. For my Logitech wheel, it doesn't really do that, but raising it will also overpower the oversteer or understeer feeling. So you still want to reduce it. Again, I have both these set to off. Maybe you can put this up a little bit to 0.5 as I mentioned before, but again, These two settings are your main deciders on if this game feels trash or not. Change both of these. Now, mind you, damper is specific to the wheel users as well, so it's very subjective. Some of you might like the heavier feel, some of you might not. But again, that's the whole point of me teaching what each of these do. It's to help you understand what each setting does, so you can then apply this knowledge and fine-tune my wheel settings as a base. Now, mechanical trail is another setting, and it tends to turn the wheels in the direction of travel, and thus is a smoother, stronger following force with less tiresome feel. So this is excellent for drifters, but does not tend to overpower feelings like lockup and understeer. I have it set to 1. I didn't want to change this as much. Minimum force feedback. Now, this scales the pneumatic trail, so the length of the dynamic lever arm from the moving tire contact patch. So scaling this down will reduce the dynamic effects from tire deformation. So for example, if you are drifting and your tire like deforms when you're drifting because it's like trying to grip sideways, that's where you would feel this the most. Now, this is also important because when you drift or when you start to lose traction, that's when your tires start to deform in a sideways or in a pattern that isn't consistent to how the tire is supposed to be being used. I hope that made sense in English, but it didn't make sense to me, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. But anyways, I have that set to 1, left it alone. Now, force feedback load sensitivity is another one. Now, what load sensitivity does, it's kind of similar to road feel, which I'll get into just after, but it scales the medium frequency forces in a line torque that come from the road elevation or oscillations or bounces. So lowering it can create a smoother experience at a cost of fidelity. I increased it because I felt like load sensitivity, you don't really feel it that much in Forza Horizon. And that's what I mean. The detail in force feedback in this game can be improved. But anyways, I have a 1.1. Now, road feel scale, this is basically when you go on Asphalt, how the wheel loads. So depending on if you have it set to 1 or higher, this will basically make you feel more of the road in force feedback terms. Have it at 1. Same thing for off-road. Because off-road, most of the time, your steering will be looser when you're driving off-road. I set it to a little bit lower, to 0.8. And lastly, steering sensitivity is another thing, which I have set to 0.4. The issue with this is that it desyncs the steering wheel animation, but it's worth it because if I didn't do that, honestly, I feel like the wheel wouldn't feel as good as it possibly could. Now, this one's a little bit of a complicated thing because depending on the ratio of the steering wheel you have, depending on the total range you're using, for my wheel, I'm using 900 degrees, by the way, again. But depending on all of that, this setting is going to matter. Now, if you're using 900 degrees steering and you're on Logitech, turn this down. For sure, you don't want to put it down too much. You don't want to put it down too much. I think a setting between 0.7, 0.7 to 0.3 is best. Maybe even between 0.4 and 0.6. You don't want to go too far, but I'm gonna leave mine at 0.4 and call it a day. So I'm now in my wheel rig, and that's everything you need to know about how to set up your wheel for Forza Horizon 6. Now, don't forget, guys, this is subjective, so sometimes my feel won't be your feel, but using what I told you before about what each setting does, you'll be able to fine-tune this as a base and figure out your best case of action. Again, the most important ones is center spring scale and wheel damper. Turn them all off from the beginning and then try it out. See how it is. If you need some adjusted after, it doesn't hurt to go crazy with your settings and spend like half an hour just trying to dial in your wheel so you can get the best possible experience. You should do it for any racing game out there. And as I said, I'm a firm believer that you don't need to play sim racing games to enjoy wheel. You know, there's arcade games out there that feel really nice on wheel, and honestly, there's a lot of us that want to play games like this on wheel anyways. Let's quickly go back to the open world. I got a car, no drift tune. The only thing I've done is put sport suspension on, increase the rear tire size, and yeah, that's basically it, guys. No change. The only issues I have on wheel before I go is, well, not really an issue. One of the biggest improvements, I'll say the improvement first, is the fact that you have a better steering animation. The issue is, it's not 900 degrees. That's my big disappointment because in cockpit now, when you drift, you're going to notice it the most. When you drift, the wheel doesn't align. In fact, because I changed my wheel sensitivity, the wheel doesn't align anymore either. As you can see, the bottom piece is a little bit further. That's because the sensitivity is different. So one thing I do hope in the future that they fix is one, well, sensitivity still keeps your wheel matched, at least the parts of the way to the direction. The other issue that I will have to admit is that it should be 900-degree animation. When you think about it, once you have the arms cross over, which is literally not that much further, just another 90 degrees, you can just repeat the same animation and have it working twice. I don't know why, bro. I feel like they should be able to do that. So maybe in a future update, they can do 900-degree animation and just make it a repeat. But I also assume it's because they have so many cars, they have to adjust the animation for all of them. And that's that's not an easy task. But anyways, that's one of the first things. Let's now show you what drifting is like with my setup. Now again, no suspension change or transmission, I should say, but I'll handbrake that. Now I can properly drift in Forza Horizon. Here's the thing to remember as well. I hated, and I say hate, I mean hated drifting in Forza Horizon. Whether that be Forza Horizon 4, Forza Horizon 5, I could never get this game to feel good on wheel, especially when drifting, because that's where you notice a lot of the issues. But here, clearly not. I can now actually properly maneuver the car the whole way. It's totally controllable all through wheel. Again, I'm not the best drifter, but I promise you from what it was before, that's a little bit of a risky situation. From what it was before, this is such a better outcome. Now I can predict what the car is doing on the turns. I know how to react to the wheel in the car when it's going around the bend. I know everything. Swing it around again. It's just too easy now. Not too easy as in that's a bad thing. Handbrake that a little bit so I can get some extended range. I'm not gonna wall tap that. But this, oh, I set that up very poorly. I'll try and be my personal best. I might be able to be honest. I'm gonna be off the track. Keep it. Personal best. And I promise you, I can do it again and again. It's a 65,000 more points to improve it. So we're back at the top of the hill because I wanted to get my H-shifter working with clutch, just for those clutch kicks. And we're going to try this out in cockpit camera. So let's see. Switch it around. There we go. Now, you guys can see, while the drift camera's on. I'll tell you guys, this is so much better than I imagined. I feel like it could still do a little bit of work in force feedback, but you know what? This is much better than Forza Horizon 5. I could not get my wheel working this good. It took a while, but once you finally figure it out, oh my god. The only thing is the steering animation, which, come on, Playground Games. I know you can do it, bro. I know you guys can. Please, for the love of it, just do it. You know how many wheel players you'd make happy? That was really bad. I'm sorry, guys. How many wheel players you can make happy by just fixing? Ah, fucking hell. It's okay. There we go. I'll fix it up. Make it up. There we go. Do this one. Yeah, because you can see it's not that much more, you know. Oh, that was really bad. Here we go. Another one. Quickly wrap it around before we lose. A drift zone. Thank you. We're good. Kept it alive. And we might get another personal best here. I think so. I'll put it in third gear because this corner I need a lot more. Ah, shit. No. I can't get any better. I think I'll still a personal best though. Yeah, it is. Guys, see what I mean? And again, I'm not the best drifter in Forza Horizon. So I promise you, use my settings, adjust it a bit as a base, but you will have a lot more fun in Forza Horizon than you ever had before. But now that I showed you drifting, I need to show you grip racing because that is equally important. You shouldn't have to go into your settings every time when you switch a car. So let's head over to the race circuit and I'll show you guys what that's like. Okay, so we'll start this race. First gear. Someone told me how I can rev the car before the race starts. Anyways. Whoops. Put it into third gear. Misshift. Now AI sometimes is a bit reckless, but I'll try and see what I can do to show you how good grip racing feels in this game. Come on. You see, no issue at all. I got punted from behind. Oh my god, you guys. It's like... Holy shit. Bro, chill. Okay. Well, there's me losing a little bit of handling because I'm getting punted by AI. But you see, it's controllable. In Forza Horizon 5, I was not able to control that. Mind you, the AI I feel like was better in Forza Horizon 5 than it was before. Let's take the outside on you. Thank you. But we got us 4 laps anyways. Hoki Hoshi in last? That's not even fair. We got this. That was a really bad steering. The racing line. But yeah, my point stands though. Grip racing is unaffected by those wheel changes he made, which kind of make feel drift better, but grip racing has always felt good in Forza Horizon 6 for me. You can easily tell what the car is doing, you know it's losing grip, and when it does lose grip, you now have complete control, because that was the other issue. I feel like you did not have control of the car when you lost grip on wheel. But now you feel like you have that control, and much better. Bro, I don't know how drivers can see out of that side view mirror. But look at that. I'm so happy. I've been dying to find some good settings on this game. Outside, come on. We'll risk it. Got the Vulcan. Aerial Atom. Can we do it all on this last lap? We'll find out. We got the aerial atom, I think. And we might actually get first place. Shit. Got the Porsche. Here we go. Shit. I couldn't. Last little fuck up. And money shift as well. Whoops. But no, honestly, good grip racing. There's another race which, well, the other thing I have to give you guys some notes of is depending how the car feels in controller will also translate how it will feel on wheel. Easy example of this is these cars, the time attack ones, they're meant for grip of course, they feel pretty good. Sometimes the GT, for example, the Mercedes GT, trying to control that on straights when it just, without traction control as well, by the way I'm playing with, it's kind of hard. But for example, the GT3 RS, oh, does that car feel incredible? And I'll show you that right now. We'll head to another road race and I'll show you guys how good it can feel with this wheel setup that I have. So we'll go to this race here and where's the race start? There we go. I will use my trusty old GT3 RS and I will show you Like, again, this can feel good. So I swap the settings back to my paddle shifters because this is a paddle shifter car and not H-speed manual. Here we go. And I'm gonna try and make my point, guys, in this race because it'll be hard. The AI will break your balls, bro. Anyways, here we go. Let's see. I'm just gonna let you take that corner. Don't trust you. Here we go. Not bad, as long as you're far away from them. Anyways, one of the benefits to this steering animation improvement is the fact that you now have this. Did you see that dive bomb? You don't cross your hands over ever, like really, when you're on a track racing. Most rounds will do are like that, which is good because now you can really have some cool, like, look at the wheel while you're racing. Oh shit, and there we go. Felt the car. Good force feedback there. It feels so much better than Forza Horizon 5. I had to dial in these settings, which took me days, guys. I had like multiple videos trying to figure out what everyone else was saying. The Forza article that mentioned what all the settings do. Come on. It's going to be a bit tough though. Come on, Porsche. Don't let that GTR beat you. Got the slip. Oh, and on the outside, we got the slip as well. Nice. Here we go, last lap. I didn't mean to hit the wall there. But yeah, grip racing, guys, so much more enjoyable with these settings. I would even say, honestly, grip racing always was really good. You can use the settings out the box and you'll be okay. Where the real issue is when you start to lose traction. That's my issue in the Forza Horizon. It's just where you start to lose traction. That's where the game gets like garbage. I don't know why I short shifted. I was trying to cut across, but you're gonna break, aren't you? Lost a little bit of control. Let me get a slip. I couldn't do anything, guys. There we go, though. Honestly, 4th place, whatever. My point is, finally, wheel can feel good in Forza Horizon. I still think the physics itself may be a bit too playful. I wish it was a little bit more sim in some aspects, but honestly, guys, Forza Horizon's a casual game for casual people. They were never gonna try and maybe adapt Forza Motorsport physics to Forza Horizon. It's just never gonna happen. But now I'm gonna show you guys dirt racing because that's one of the last things that I think kind of matter in this sense, because that was also a bit difficult to try and find settings that work across the board, not just settings that work specifically for drifting or specifically for grip racing. I had to find something that fit across the board. So it's funny, dirt race, you know what, dirt race would probably be best actually. Now the issue with this is that, of course, on off-road races you might actually be using the full rotation of the wheel, which sucks a bit. But the other thing I have to mention, and I understand the reason why Playground Games didn't do it, is because when you're on controller and you're switching left to right, of course it's going to look a bit jarring when you're going like, you know what I mean? But I feel like they could have just said, if you're on controller, 540 degrees. If you're on wheel, up to 900, depending on whatever you have your wheel set to. That's what they should have done. I feel like, but maybe controller is just such a crazy percentage. I know wheel is a minority in every racing game, and controller just trumps it by like 80% minimum, sometimes 90% in racing games. Controller just takes the lead on wheel. Again, I totally understand the whole controller thing and majority and minority thing. Anyways, one thing I should mention about off-road feel, I'm still disappointed, bro. There's no true force. I can still feel the vibrations, you know, all that. It feels decent, but no true force is insane to me, especially when you consider the fact that Forza Motorsport had it, which again, bro, Forza Horizon 6, your flagship game. How is there no true force implemented? And it's not just Logitech's true force. As I understand, there's other wheel companies like proprietary features that don't work on this game. Why? I don't get it, bro. Like, why would it not work? Anyways, off-road feel with these settings is much better. The main issue I had, again, was just grip loss. It's once you get to that state in the vehicle, it's just stupid to control it on wheel. But again, this has been much improved now with these settings that I have. So now I can finally enjoy my races and actually do much more competitively than I did before. There's one issue that I must test before I finish off this video. Oh shit, I did not brake in time for that wall. My bad. But one of the other issues is short wheel-based vehicles. And if you play Forza Horizon at all, you'll know that this was true in all Forza Horizon games. When the vehicle has a short wheelbase, it is way more agile. And when you compare that on wheel, it just makes driving with them impossible. So some key examples of these vehicles would be RS200, the Ford. Just any car that's like that. Short wheelbase. And that's the type of things that would mess you up. It's so much more predictable. You can know what's happening to your car. You know what you have to do to your car all through the force feedback itself now. And it works across all surfaces, all vehicles. I'm not gonna win this race though, but you can't win them all. Again, I really wish there was true force, bro, because not having true force, I don't get it. It was just again, maybe it'll come post launch. Maybe it'll come post launch, but it should have been at launch, bro. Especially considering it was in Forza Motorsport. Anyways, let's test one more thing, and I think my work here is done. Okay, so start this race up. Now again, because these cars do have a shorter wheelbase, it's a lot harder for them to be less sensitive for you. I mean, the inertia, the weight transfer, it'll be a lot more effective in these cars because they're just shorter, as you'd expect. But now with the wheel settings that I have, I can now accurately predict what the car is doing. I'm just gonna take that corner. A little shortcut. Oh, what the fuck? I got sideswiped, but you guys are breaking my balls all the time. Anyways, so as you can see, it's a lot more easier for me to know what my car is doing with these physics. There we go. Let the wheel do its work. There we go. We're back. Only 8th place though. Alright. It's okay, bro. I'll pass you back. Don't worry about it. So much easier to control the vehicle, bro. Come on. Last time I did this race on wheel, I was pissed. I don't think the video will be out on this race next week. Me attempting it on wheel, if I even left it in, that is. Keep it, thank you. We lost some positions because of that. It's whatever. At least I'm having much more fun, and now I know that if I lose, it's not because of the wheel, it's because of my driver skill. There we go. So much better. I promise you guys, I'm pretty sure that one of the biggest issues is the wheel dampener and the centering. I'm certain it's those two that create the real big issues for this game. A little bit of a drift, but as I get punted off my race line from this car, that Dr. Tom guy. I know it's not you, but I'll pass you back easily anyways. Yeah, the AI, bro. There we go. So much more fun off-roading. Even if you lose. That's what I'm talking about. Normally you'd see me stress if the car was losing traction, but now I don't. Because I know what the car is actually doing. I can feel it. Oh, okay. I think my car's just slow, guys. I gotta tune it, to be honest. As I find with Forza Horizon, you can't get away with stock cars or without tuning cars to like really be competitive. But there we go. Bam. This is Forza Horizon 6 on wheel. I'll give you guys my final thoughts right now. Should you play it on wheel? Is it worth it? Let's have a talk. So the biggest question of them all, is Forza Horizon 6 worth it or even good on wheel? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. It's actually good. Like, surprisingly, it's actually good. And I'm someone who hated, when I say hate, I mean hated wheel on Forza Horizon 4 and Forza Horizon 5. I could not get the hang of it. The physics, the grip loss, none of it ever made sense to me. But in Forza Horizon 6, it does. Only after you fine-tune it. If you don't fine-tune your settings, and again, I also believe that you have to most of the time fine-tune your settings in a racing game. You shouldn't have to do it too much, but in Forza Horizon 6, I feel like across the board, no matter what wheel you have to change the settings. If you don't, you won't have a good experience or even a better experience than you previously had. The main issue, if you don't touch the settings, is the grip loss and the center spring and how you drift. Because again, none of that really matters until you start to lose grip. Once you start to lose grip, your wheel is going to want to send that sensation to you. And if you don't have it set up correctly, it's gonna give you a sensation that just doesn't make any sense and you'll spin out. It's like you're working against your brain the entire time while you're trying to drift, or once you feel the car losing grip. But that said, once you have your settings down, it's much more improved. Now, I still feel like there is some way to go in this game. For me, what I understand this as is that the settings I have set improve what is already there. I feel like there's no change in the actual core force feedback mechanics from Forza Horizon 5. In fact, I might even go as far to say the preview, I feel like they were trying to change the core force feedback, but maybe they ran out of time and they couldn't do it. And then they just went with what Forza Horizon 5 was, or maybe it was an experimental change that they did in the preview build. But they always said that wheel wasn't finished in the preview build guidelines. But that said, still, it's a decent base, especially when you tune it. And I wouldn't say that, you know, you just shouldn't try wheel at all in Forza Horizon 6. Because now that you've gotten all of this down, for sure, you should try on wheel. I mean, no matter the car now, guys, I can finally drift in Forza Horizon and know what the fuck the car is doing. I cannot tell you how like happy I am that that small thing somehow works, because it never did before. It never did before. It's still gonna be hard for me. Again, I'm not gonna compare this to Test Drive or the Crew Motorfest. I feel like those games, well, first off, they have definitely a different physics. I can't compare the physics to those, but I can say the sensations I get in Motorfest and Test Drive are still better than Forza Horizon. But what Forza Horizon is is still, especially when you tune it, is still much better than what it was in the previous opus. So you have to try it on wheel, give it a test, play around with the settings, watch my video again, figure out what each of the settings do so you can really fine tune what you're looking for. And I promise you, you should be able to have some fun in this game. I mean, Lord knows, I hate Forza Horizon on wheel, but I was able to get it working. So you should be able to as well. And again, I'm a huge believer in you don't need sim physics to have fun on a wheel. I'm tired of that being the mental capacity of the racing game community. Oh, you know, why are you playing a wheel on Motorfest? Why are you playing a wheel on Test Drive? Why are you playing on a wheel on Forza Horizon? Bro, because one, we're all car enthusiasts and we all love driving. So yes, we want to play on wheel, even if the physics doesn't mean sim. As long as you know what the car is doing and the car responds the way it should, you can enjoy your time on wheel. And that's finally what I find that Forza Horizon 6 is doing. It makes sense. Everything the car does makes sense. The way it responds, the way it drifts, it all makes sense once you tune these settings. So guys, those are my final thoughts. Forza Horizon 6 on wheel. Well, as I fuck it up already. Not that time, I did much better. But yeah, Forza Horizon 6 on wheel, guys, I will admit it's fun. I still feel like there's much to go in terms of sensation and force feedback feel. I feel like that they could easily improve it. You know, it's not perfect, but it's good enough. And good enough is already much more improved than what Forza Horizon 5 and 4 was on wheel. So I highly recommend you guys test it out. Anyways, that said, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I hope it did help you get to your wheel physics. What the fuck? What is happening here? You guys make me look stupid in video. Anyways, that's a very weird lighting bug, by the way. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Leave a like and subscribe for more Forza Horizon content. If you did find this video helpful, let me know in the comment section below as well. Let me know what you think of the settings, what wheel you have, if anything worked, if you made some changes to my base setup, so at least other people in the comment section can help you out. You know, I also believe that if you guys work together in my comment section based on the base settings I have, we can help cover all wheels, because all I have is Logitech and the Rebel Sim wheel I have at work. But I know there's so many wheels out there, so it's going to be hard for everyone to find something that they like. So that's everything you need to know about wheel and Forza Horizon 6, guys. I will see you in another video. Again, don't forget to leave a like and comment for other details and tips. I'll see you guys in another video. Don't lose it, don't lose it. Finally, bro. Again, the sensations are perfect, but they're so much better. So much better. I still think some other games beat it on implementation, like force feedback feel, but Forza Horizon could get there if they just improve it through updates and post-patch things. Anyways, I'm out, guys. I've been talking for too much. Peace out.